Okay. I'm so confused.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is, and I think I'll just do it with Video Ninja.
That's fine.
Can you tell me why this is a big deal all of a sudden?
I'm trying to rebuild the OBS theme that we have going on.
Yeah.
So that it's better.
Oh my fucking God. What is wrong with you?
Still here.
Oh, hold on.
What happened?
I don't want to tell you because you're just going to make fun of me.
Well,
there we go.
Probably, but
fair enough.
My stacks went wacky on me.
Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with
Save
stacks.
it for the show.
What show?
Tuss, dude, you're not a real dad.
I'm nobody's real dad. That's actually the thing I put money on. Nobody can tell me to stop. That's child abuse. That's not my kids. It's just general abuse.
That's not how child abuse works. Understand? It's not, they don't have to be your kid.
No, it's
Child abuse is child abuse.
Hey, no. Assault is different than child abuse. I'll take the assault charge.
This is the first thing new people to our channel are seeing right now. Just putting that out there.
They've been warned.
Well, not yet. They haven't.
Well,
Now they've been warned. Warmed.
They're
Warmed.
nice and warm.
We're all warm. It's actually.
I don't know about that.
It's actually super
One,
hot.
two,
in
one,
my
two.
room. 1 sec. What's so hot in here?
I feel like my lights are dim today too. Let's see if I can do something about that. 1, 2, 1, 2. You can play some music. I think more people tune in to listen to the music than to listen to us. I'm pretty sure of that, actually.
Well, that's because we don't talk about anything.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host name Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like Love Me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through in blessing style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PH.
That was horrible.
You don't say.
Is it going on the stream like that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never guess what I wasn't capable of doing this episode. Let me try one more time. One more time.
Yeah, right, man.
One more time. Let's see what happens.
The host named Eric. Yo. 1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shout Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional. But I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments. They got plenty of haters, but they doing what they.
PHPUgly, it's not just a funny name.
I have no idea if you're talking to us or if you're talking to the stream. You're not sharing your screen, so we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it did it again.
Yeah, I was listening to the stream and it sounded great up till the very end, and then I was like,
Yeah.
right after Jeff said much better, and then we're like, screw you.
Yeah.
Screwing it up.
As soon as we got a thumbs up in the Discord, it went to shit.
The Tom Rideout thumbs up, I might add. Zombie Slayer.
Guess
Yeah,
what I was not able to
YouTubers.
do this weekend? I did not have time to reinstall Windows.
Oh, great.
My whole system is still a pile of garbage. However,
Was there
Oh,
something?
no,
However, there's more. There's
I-
more
I-
to it after that.
I thought something would come to me and nothing came to me. It was
Oh well, good.
I'm still alive physically. Like,
Before we start the audio recording,
what do you mean?
before I start the
All I
audio
have is a blurred screen
What are you talking about?
for
I
my
don't
audio
know what you-
recording.
I'm trying to talk to Discord, so you can just figure out.
Because you're not in there. You might want to jump back in.
Everything's
Who's not
working
in where?
great. Everything's working great.
Tom is not in Zencaster anymore. Oh, there he is.
Right, I see him. Oh no, I'm not in there anymore.
Everything's
is
working
going
great.
on?
Yeah, that's true. Eric just left.
Oh, okay. Discord, if you're listening, if you like our intro music, that is Harry Mack. And Harry Mack is going on tour. I'm going to go ahead and post that in our Trello for people. Let me actually get back to that. I may be going to the show here in San Diego. It's Sunday,
Really?
so it's kind of weird. Yeah. Weird that it's
I
on
would-
a Sunday.
I would so go to it, but I'm not going to be in town.
I wasn't asking you to go, so it doesn't really matter. Oh,
I wasn't asking you to go either. I was making sure we were going to be on opposite sides of the stage. Just
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic.
if I was
what
going to
do-
go, I was going to ask which side you're on, but
What's wrong? Was Spencer busy or something? All right. Where are we
You
at?
guys
Got
are-
my beer. All right. Your wind blows machine gonna make it through the show. Thomas.
We'll
You
fucking
muted.
find out.
Wait. Here goes the monetization for YouTube this week.
It's not recording yet. Oh no, we are streaming though.
Okay, what's happening? I need to get into
Start
character
recording.
here.
Start
So you
recording
need
on
to figure out
Zencaster.
What's going on? You
Start
give me a
recording on
minute. I'm dealing with stuff here. All right. You want to go over there? Okay, you go over there. I got this
It's a
cat.
cat. He's
We'll
dealing with
talk
a cat.
about it. Yeah, I got this cat. It's the most affectionate cat I've ever owned in my life. I don't not like cats, but I'm not a cat. I don't consider myself a cat person.
hey, save it for the show. Let's get it started.
I don't want this on the show. All right.
Yeah,
okay.
too bad. Start recording.
Okay.
You're the editor.
Yeah,
You
Pete.
can just cut it.
I lost my screen again. What's going on with Zencaster? Allow audio playback. What? No, I don't want audio.
Yes,
playback.
audio playback is part of the monitoring.
Whatever. All right. Okay, it might be recording. I don't know.
It says it's recording.
It says it is.
This is going to be a rough one. Joe wants to see my kitten. Well, he's walked off now, Joe. So we'll talk about it. He might come back.
Hey,
all right.
Good.
You sure?
Yeah.
You're listening to episode 274 of PHPUgly. I'm your host, Eric Van Johnson, and with me tonight is John Congdon.
I see that you cable tied your cables back there. Looks very nice.
And Tom right up.
Meow.
He didn't want to see your cat. He wanted to see Eric's cat.
So for the audio listeners, let me catch you up. We have a cat. I think the cat is actually a year old, or we've had the cat for a year now. It felt like it was around this time last year that we got the cat. Nope, not even, because it was after March. I know that for a fact. Anyways, this cat has moved with us now. I mean, we had him at the old house. We had him at the temporary shelter under the bridge, and we have him at the new house. And he's always been one of the more affectionate cats that we've ever owned. We have a few cats, and we treat them well, and that we've done something new with our cats with trying to keep them as indoor cats. We've been doing that for the last couple of years. We had a real bad run of cats coming up missing and coyotes. And
yeah,
stuff.
you've been feeding the coyotes a little too much.
Yeah, so we made an asserted effort to keep the cats indoor. Well, this new cat that we have, whose name happens to be Bug, has got to be the most affectionate cat I've ever owned from childhood to now. And he seems to have taken a liking to me, which I have no idea why. But like I said, I'm not an anti-cat person. I'm not this
we're very warm
cat
people.
Person. Yeah, it's true. That might be part of it. So he's a very affectionate cat, and he likes to sleep on my chest when I'm trying to work. That's like his thing. I don't know why he does that. But so you may see him jump up here because he managed to make it into the studio here before I shut the door. So now he's trapped in here with me. If he comes back over to my desk, I'm sure you guys will see him. But I don't know why I went on that tangent, but
that's what I'm wondering.
I felt like it was important for everybody to understand that he requires a lot of my attention.
We've got a lot of people already listening on YouTube, and if you're there, you should join us in Discord over at discord.phpugly.com.
So,
and there's already lots of people in there too.
About that, we have a restream bot that puts all of our chats into Discord and then into the stream. I will be removing the video chats.
Why is that?
Because you should be
listeners.
Because you should be in our Discord.
Tom hates.
So it doesn't change. Are you threatening people?
That it doesn't change his chat.
Don't penalize people that don't want to hang out.
Removing
it gives us more room. It gives us more room to provide the content that is our beautiful faces.
But you
really want to rethink
Discord
that.
Chat? Yeah. I'm vetoing that idea. I like the chat there.
If only you had ever edited or managed a single episode.
You don't edit anything. All right. I don't. We'll
that's why
I'm looking forward. Something for people to look forward to. Tom is going to redo our OBS layouts. So be excited. Let's see what's going to happen.
I mean, Tom is going to be speaking. Always be excited.
Is that how that works? Are you sure?
Not sure. I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, but how did we go from changing OBS layouts to Tom speaking?
Can I
You're
we
not
have-
very
sure.
good at speaking in general. You're struggling.
Hey,
tonight.
hey.
I mean, I'm not looking for you to go on a rant or anything. I'm just saying.
I have a small rant. A small, tiny.
Do you want to go on? You want to go on your rant now? or
I
can
no,
we
I
listen
don't.
to
I don't want to go on it now. I want to start with
All right.
Eric. How was your week?
All right. I got tasked with upgrading Laravel for a client, and it was interesting. I'm actually still in the process. I just started it yesterday.
Okay, starting at what version?
7 to 8, so not a huge jump. And
Why not go straight to 9 if it's already out? Just out of curiosity.
because there's a lot of packages. They're not ready for 9, and I think they still want the flexibility of deciding whether or not they're going to run on PHP 8 or 7.4. We did have that conversation, and
Okay, so
Gotcha.
I was asked to politely to only upgrade to 8 for now.
So I was explicitly avoiding this conversation.
You still can. There's still
No,
time.
I can't. No, I can't.
Sure you can.
No, I can't.
Well, look, Eric was still talking.
There
I'll say,
was.
in typical Tom fashion, he asks me a question. I start to respond, and he
How do I-
hijacks the
How
conversation.
do I mute here? No, you're gonna be very interested in this. I saw a post on Reddit that said upgrading from 8 to 9 in 5 minutes. And I opened that post purely for the purpose of roasting whoever made the video. Like you just can't. You can't do it. It's not possible.
Sure, take a fresh project and just change it.
Nope.
You're
No, there are dependencies that need to be upgraded, et cetera, et cetera. And I watched the video not 20 minutes ago. And the video said, hey, so this project can't be updated because the dependencies aren't upgraded. What do? Well, Laravel Shift looks at your dependencies and creates a pull request on your dependencies to make it compatible with Laravel 9 and gives you an output that tells you how to use the pull request until it's officially accepted by the library that you're using.
That's
So, like,
interesting.
yeah, no, that's beyond interesting. That's like, that's every problem I've ever had.
I don't want to give you too much time to talk there. Go ahead.
It solves the problem.
Not. It depends on your definition of the problem. Like, if your business rules state that you need to stay on a specific, not branch, but point release, because I'm assuming that they're now having you use a specific branch of that package, right? How do you get back to using the standard package if you don't manually go and do that afterwards?
So it appears that Laravel Shift wants to solve this problem. And I messaged the creator of this video, this 5-minute upgrade video, something McCree. I had it right here, you know.
AMAC?
Of course. No, that he's not of. He said of the video. JMac is Shift, the creator of Shift.
Yes.
JMac created the video too.
I believe so.
Well, you really should do more research on this if you're going to talk about it on the show.
Yeah, JMac.
What is going on?
So JMac created this video, and I messaged JMac saying, like, can you explain more how you are updating common packages and recommending.
Why am I in the big picture? I'm not talking. Why am I in the big picture? So you messaged JMac.
So I messaged JMac. I'm waiting for a response. I want to know how JMac identifies common libraries that need the update to 9, and how he's running Laravel Shift on these libraries that aren't requesting it but need a pull request for it. But like, no, I started today ready to fully roast Laravel Shift for saying you can do it in 5 minutes, and then watch the video and like they explicitly cover, oh yeah, this library needs to be updated. Here's what you paste into your composer JSON for now.
So it will help you to get to 9 immediately, but in 2 weeks, a month, when those packages have updated, you're not going to get those updates now because you are locked to a specific pull request, right?
Right. And I think the assumption is that if you want to push 9 right now, then you'll be checking for updates next week as well.
I wonder, does the video specifically say that they're doing the pull request and waiting for tests to pass before updating your pull request or updating your code base with that specific pull request?
It appears to be really similar to GitHub's Dependabot stuff, where they create a pull request, and whether or not the tests pass, the pull request exists because the dependencies have been updated.
So if you're accepting the shift, you might be at risk.
Well, if you're accepting Laravel 9, you might be at risk. But that's a different story that we talked about last week.
All right, Eric, tell me more about you're upgrading 7 to 8.
Oh,
Let's
are we
get back
back
to
on
that.
me? Oh,
I'm
okay,
trying
that's
to
great.
get back to you here.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Shift does factor into this. Actually, I got some segues also, but let's see if I can actually get through a couple sentences here. Yeah, so I was asked to upgrade from 7 to 8, and this client doesn't use the public GitHub repo. They have private repos that they use. So I've done this enough times where I actually feel fairly comfortable doing it without Shift. But they had already purchased a Shift, and it was to use the. I haven't used Shift in a while. I don't know if this is common or not, but I guess you can run Shift through Docker now. So I did that. I don't see the benefit of that. They did it because they couldn't get access to the repo. So I understand why I had to do it to them, and I actually fucked it up. I felt bad because it went a little sideways on me. So I had to. I reset the composer JSON, and I realized, oh yeah, you can only run that Docker command one time, and it's not like the public Shift where it creates a pull request for you in your repo. It just does it there on your machine, and then you have to push it up.
That's happened to me a couple times.
You can't reset the branch and then
you have to create a
command.
No, you have to create a Shift branch.
Right.
So when you're running it in Docker, the Shift occurs in the branch that you're in and creates a series of commits based off of the actions that were taken. So
but can't you reset that and start over?
No, because
you can't. You pass it what I'm assuming is a one-use token that it clearly checks before it allows you to run again. And I didn't, I just thought, okay, he has this Docker implementation that as long as you're in the same repo, it would be fine. But Yeah, it wasn't like that. So be aware of that. Like if you ever run that Docker command, yeah, that's a one-time thing, and you have to.
And you're paying per shift.
Yes,
Mm,
I think it's. I don't know. I didn't pay for it. I was just given the documentation that says, hey, I have, here's the token, here's the documentation. You have to run these Docker commands. So I didn't pay for it.
there's the Shift desktop now, which is like a GUI platform that has a bunch of free shifts and a bunch of paid shifts. And from what I understand, those shifts are licensed completely differently. Like the way that it handles whether or not you're allowed to do something on the Shift desktop is totally different than if you're allowed to do something on the Shift Docker container. I ran the Shift Docker container twice on the wrong branch that I was in, and if I was good at Git, I sure could have made sense of it, but I'm not great at Git.
Yeah, so that's kind of the other issue. I guess what I could have done is push it up and gone through the commits. But when you use man, we're giving Shift a lot of freaking marketing here. All 7 of our listeners are.
But it deserves it. Also, it's not 7. It's enough to fill a jumbo jet. Apparently.
Okay, that was almost 3 sentences. Ready? Okay. So the nice thing about the online version is that it makes the commit, and it makes this really nice commit log for you that's easy to click through. This one, it creates a Shift markdown, and but like the links, I don't know, maybe I should have committed it and it would have been fine, but like the links to kind of jump to the different commits don't work, and I don't know. It was kind of hokey. But again, I'm comfortable enough. I haven't needed to use Shift in a while, and I'm comfortable enough doing it without Shift. Where I've kind of hit, I don't want to say a roadblock, but my God, one of the nightmare scenarios for me right now is NPM requirements. I can't get the NPM to build anymore. I freaking hate. This is why Livewire is so good, because NPM and the freaking requirements and the requirements of the dependencies of this, it's worse than composer packages, and I cannot push my way through all of the issues I'm having with all these JavaScript libraries. It's driving me nuts. I can honestly say I've spent more time trying to resolve JavaScript dependencies than I have with the original migration. It's such a nightmare. So that has been my day for like the last 2 days. The last day has been a pretty much a solid day of JavaScript dependencies, and I'm still not done. But yeah, I had screwed up the Shift. Fortunately, I had only done the composer package, the composer file, the composer JSON, and I had blown away the composer lock file. But I had also committed, so I was able to pull back down the one that Shift had sent me.
That seems scary, blowing away the lock file.
Yeah, no, we don't do that.
Why is that scary? I'm upgrading, so I don't care about all the previous versions of shit. I want the newest version. Why would blowing away the lock file be scary?
I guess it depends, because I'm used to very specifically upgrading a single package at a time, not doing an upgrade on everything.
Yeah, so this is a framework upgrade with all the dependencies. I wanted everything to upgrade, so I didn't see any issue with that.
Isn't that a problem?
What's the problem?
So you have packages that aren't tied specifically to the library, though, right?
Yeah, in my
So-
environment, we have front end as one repo and back end as one repo. And one of the biggest problems we've had is they are separate repos. One of the biggest problems we've had is we try to upgrade the Laravel version on our API system, and it says your blade templates are incompatible. And we're like, well, we don't have blade templates.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't exist.
I've
Like-
never heard that, but okay.
We run a very
How's
delegated.
how's this proving your point?
I don't remember what my point was.
Why blowing away the lock file was that a good idea when you're doing an upgrade?
Oh, because we have emails.
Really? You have emails? How do you get those?
So how do I log out? How do I log out of?
Kevin, that's a good question. Why does Laravel not have an artisan command to upgrade? Why is it?
That's a
Why do you
very
have to
good
go through
question.
go through Shift?
Ask
Cake
JMac.
PHP does. Well, don't ask JMac. JMac's making a living off of it. He doesn't want
yeah,
artisan upgrade command.
Yeah,
Of
exactly.
course. I mean, WordPress, for crying out loud, upgrades for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know, if
And,
you go,
and I have to say, I have to admit, so like I said, I haven't used Shift in a while, and it's not because I have an issue with Shift. I actually care a lot about JMac. I like the guy a lot. But
let me
Sh-
find
Laravel-
the heart emojis.
the earlier versions of Laravel took a lot more effort to upgrade, and that's where JMac stepped in.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, Taylor didn't want to create or didn't have time or saw the necessity of creating upgrade scripts, so he was just kind of documenting the steps. JMac saw that necessity and he capitalized on it, and that's kind of where we're at now. But to be completely fair, the upgrading since Laravel 7 has not been nearly as scary as it was in the past. So 7, 8, I assume 9.
Yeah, no.
is
Ever
simple.
since LTS, upgrading has been fine.
But it is interesting what Tom said, and I wasn't aware of this, that
Hold on. This is first. Let me focus on you.
that if what you said was correct, that Shift now opens up pull requests to dependencies to get them compatible with that version of Laravel. That is very interesting. It would be kind of cool to see that as a separate script away from Shift, so that if I'm an individual who's doing an upgrade, to have some command I could run, ideally not pay for it because I'm not getting anything necessarily out of it, but have a command I can run that would do that for me. I would install that in my projects and run that. But
so
yeah,
I'll go
that's
further
cool.
than that. I'm not going to say it's like interesting. I'm going to say it's striking.
Well,
Like to search the
seem-
libraries that you're using and then perform a shift on them so that your shift goes smoother.
But does it actually perform a shift on their library? Or does
I
it just
haven't-
Say, hey,
I
I'm assuming
haven't
it's just a
gotten-
composer change.
No, but I haven't. No, it's not. It's not just a composer change. But I haven't gotten a response back
Really?
from. I haven't gotten a response back from JMac because it
I mean,
was only
wouldn't be
it was
that
only
hard to do.
15 minutes before we went live.
But
that I
it's a
messaged JMac
public.
and I said I was going to try and like burn
yeah,
it
it's
publicly,
a
but
it's
I
a
can't.
public. If it's a public repo, that's what I'm saying. It wouldn't
Just-
be that hard for them to run a shift against the
Right,
repo.
and that's what appears to be
yeah.
happening.
But it wouldn't be so hard for us to go see those pull requests open. It's
So
got to
co-
be just the composer files, right? They're not
According
shifting.
to Joe Ferguson
No.
in our Discord, he says it forks the repo, updates it, and opens a PR, so the customer gets a smoother experience.
Also,
So all the
understand that
libraries
shift,
all the libraries are getting a free shift. I'm paying for a shift for my
Well, it's not a shift, right? Because they're just packages, so it's not upgrading a whole framework. It's just saying,
Absolutely, they're getting a free shift. That's fine. I don't care if they get a free shift because I'm paying for the shift on my commercial product, and the open source products that are below it get a free shift. I don't care. I mean, dude, the JMack's making an okay amount of money off of this, and he's going to make he's going to make an okayer amount of money off the fact that it actually
been pretty
works out of the box. Sure. And he can base his future pricing.
Okay, so we're talking a lot about something we don't really know the details.
No, but what I do know,
interesting concept is what I'm trying to get to.
What I do know is that the Shift desktop has a large list of free shifts and available shifts, where like a free shift is converting switches to matches, and the paid shifts are converting all of your associated libraries to 9.0 compatible. And
how do we keep getting back on this? Eric, you were talking about shifting from 7 to 8.
It's cool.
I know, but how do we keep cutting Eric off? I want to go back to his weekend.
That was pretty much it. Like I said, the JavaScript libraries is where I've kind of hit a little bit of wall, and it may be more me because I'm not a big JavaScript person, but I can tell you, I feel like
NPM is a nightmare. I agree.
Yeah, it really. Wow, man, it is such a nightmare. And the dependencies, there's just so many dependencies, and it's not clear. Like when you run it, and maybe this is true with Composer too. I don't remember. It doesn't register in my head that I've run into this issue a lot, but in NPM, you run into an issue with a dependency of a dependency, and it's not clear. Hey, you're not including this package. This package includes this package, and that's what's blocking you. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh man, where's this coming from?
Buttery just called me out in Discord. Again, discord.phpugly.com if you're not already joining us there. As soon as Tom pointed out that it was an open source package that a pull request was being opened against, I felt like shit. I agree. They should get a free shift. That was my bad. I wasn't thinking that all the way through. but thanks for calling me out on that.
So since we are talking so much about Shift, well, I don't know how much they do with Shift, but Jess Archer, who's this Australian developer, she's all. I mean, if you're in the Laravel community, you've probably seen Jess and some of the work she's done. But she's done a lot of stuff with JMack. I don't know if she officially works with JMack or not, but let me ask you, John, are you still in Bash, or are you using ZSH?
On my desktop, I'm using ZSH, but I am not using ZSH. Like, it's there.
Right. You never do. You're always like the vanilla guy. I use them, but just like the vanilla them. I use yeah. And ZSH is the default shell in Mac now, I believe. So, Tom, I assume you use ZSH?
You're muted.
You're muted, Tom.
I've used ZSH for a while, and in VS Code, ZSH is the default for Mac.
I've noticed some issues using that, but I'll let you go on. Go ahead.
But it's not just
I think
ZSH.
he's talking to me. I think he's talking to me.
Eric, go ahead.
So real fast, so I was talking about Jess Archer. It's now posted to Discord. Has released a ZSH package for Laravel that looks very promising. I haven't installed it yet, but I'm going to install it. Go ahead, Tom.
No, before he does, what is this package supposed to do?
It's an artisan package, so it gives you auto completion to all your make commands at the command line. So you do artisan make, and you can tab, and it'll show you all your possible auto completes. What I'm very curious about is if it's just the make commands, like just the known make commands, or if it'll do like any artisan command, which would be pretty cool. But it looks like it's just the make commands right now.
Well, if you're going based off the video in that README,
Yes.
I'm assuming from that I would assume it's any of the artisan commands. That's just happens to be the one they share in the little snippet there.
Well, I will tell you in about 30 seconds because I'm going to install this bad boy.
I've run into like minor issues with using ZSH, and I don't know if it's just how I'm using it.
Probably.
And
it is. Go on.
And I don't know if it's I can't remember exact examples, but there are certain commands that I used to be able to just run, and now I have to prefix it with sh space and then run it.
Well, yeah, that shouldn't be happening.
Or bash.
I mean, so if you write a script that's dependent on bash, you should be including that in the script itself. But in general, I don't know if I've maybe I have in the past that I'm just not thinking about. But
next time if I see it again, I'll try and mark it down and ask you about it.
It's rough. I knew a dude who ran Emacs as his shell. And like he wrote all his commands
as a shell.
Yeah.
So my ZSH, I have Vim bindings to it. I love it so much. You should do that. Now the one issue I have had recently.
Please share.
But you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was saying, please, in the future, please share your Vim bindings within ZSH, and I might use that.
It's just a package you install, a plugin you install with ZSH. Well, so I use my ZSH, which
is what I use.
Okay, so you just add. I think, matter of fact, I have it open right now. Let me see. Vim mode. You add Vim mode to your plugins, and you can do things like.
So what? How do I do that? I don't know how to do that.
You edit your ZSH .zsh file, ZSHRC file. Yeah.
Yep.
And you'll have a section there called plugins. If you haven't touched this, there's a few plugins you want.
I have not touched it. I have
my God,
Docker Compose, and that's it.
You want FZF. You want FZF tab. You want Git. You want GitHub. You want Warp Drive. Or I think it's just WD.
War crime.
You want Z.
All right,
Warp Drive. Here,
sure.
I'm gonna put it in Discord. All my plugins. Let me add this one. I'm actually here right now, so I'm gonna add this one right now. Artisan. I'm doing this live. Artisan. I'm gonna see if I like this thing or not. Okay, here I'm gonna share all my plugins. I'm gonna share all the plugins I have, which might be a little on the heavy side. I'll put it in Discord.
Right, so if I paste this in my ZSH RC file, then what do I have to do?
That's it. You just have to start another shell, and it'll pull the plugins in. Boom. Those are the ones you want right there. You get those. No. So Warp Drive.
And people say Linux is too complicated.
The WD and the Z are going to change your life. So Warp Drive just allows you to create bookmarks. So like if you go to a directory a lot, you Warp Drive add it. And then, so like all my projects that I have, I do a Warp Drive on because they're in /repos, /blah, blah, blah. They're actually on another drive. So it's /media, /Gotham, So there's a long change of directories. But whenever I go to my projects, I Warp Drive it. And then no matter where I'm at on the command line, I can just Warp Drive project name and boom, I'm there. Warp Drive. And then what Z does, Z is kind of like Warp Drive. But Z kind of tries to do it on an intelligence level. So it says, if I do like Z, like I just did it today, I did Z Laravel. It'll try to figure out the last directory I went to that had the name Laravel in it and then send me there. It tries to figure out what I'm talking about. But those two, I use them all the time now. Like those are my most used commands are WD and Z.
But what are some of these other ones in here? Like you have sudo as a plugin. What does the sudo plugin do?
So the sudo plugin will if I run a command and I meant to run it as sudo, or actually if I'm typing a command and I say, oh, I want to run this as sudo, I just hit escape twice and it prefixes the command with sudo for me.
So
if I ran
I have to know what these plugins are in order to use them effectively.
Generally that's a good idea.
Well, like you have a history plugin. I use history all the time. I know what
history is
does.
great because how often do you do history pipe grep? This
I do it all
history
the time.
plugin
Literally never.
This never? What's wrong with you? This history plugin allows you to type HSI space, and that's running history pipe grep. So when you type HSI, a command or whatever you're looking for, it does a history /grep for you.
Oh man, why haven't you told me about this stuff before?
Because you never listen to me, my friend. I love you like a brother, but you just don't listen to me when I tell you this stuff. You make me feel bad about it.
I listen to you all the time.
Artisan command not found. Oh, Jess, what's going? What did I do wrong?
I got a lot of plugins not found. Just so you know, when I
you guys know it's easy to understand.
What's easy to understand? We'd like to thank our sponsor for this episode, HookRelay.dev. HookRelay.dev allows you to create powerful webhooks without having to create all the groundwork yourself. Sure, the basics of sending webhooks are easy, but to add more powerful features takes time and effort. That's where HookRelay.dev saves the day. Have you ever tried sending data to third parties that have strict API limits? Do you handle those failures caused by those limits properly using traditional back-off algorithms? Stop worrying about third parties with flaky servers and let HookRelay.dev continue trying to reach them for you. Resending failed webhooks or just resending for testing is as simple as clicking a button. You can also be the recipient of webhooks. That's right, HookRelay.dev handles both inbound and outbound webhooks. HookRelay.dev can catch the request and then send them to your servers. And best of all, reporting. Writing code to track success failures, create reports, and more is already done with HookRelay.dev. Try HookRelay.dev's free tier today. Get 3 endpoints, 14-day retention, and 100 deliveries per day. Thank you, HookRelay, for sponsoring today's episode. Thanks,
Thank you,
HookRelay.
Yeah, so doing it live actually did not work for me. I know, John, you tell me all the time.
Yeah,
don't do it live.
I do say that a lot.
Tried.
For those that are listening now online, for the next week on this show live, we are going to draw a winner for a Raspberry Pi 0W kit.
What?
All the details are available at phpa.me/pi2 pi2 phpa.me/pi2. Enter. It's just a little thing we're doing with OSMH, open sourcing mental health. You go there, you have a chance to win this thing. We're probably going to do it for the next few months. We're doing this in coordination with an article series we're doing in the magazine, How to Hack Your Home with a Raspberry Pi.
With sponsorship from?
The magazine. You have to say what magazine.
Were you not just listening to me, Eric? I just said it. The magazine, PHP Architect magazine, phparch.com. I already called out OSMH, open sourcing mental health. You're not listening to me, are you? That's okay.
Yeah, no, I'm listening to you. I'm happy.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm happy.
Thank you, OSMH, for sponsoring that and helping us along with that. I have them here. They're in a box next to me. They will be shipped out. So again, one more week. Get your entries in.
So you said that's the first of a couple? We're going to keep running the giveaway?
We are going to keep running it. But
what is this
get in now?
Shit? I'm just not in. After the interview,
we're benefiting, Tom. In case you didn't know, I wasn't aware of this. I woke up one morning this week, and I started seeing all these notifications of all this new subs to PHPUgly's YouTube channel. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
I saw that. It was really interesting to me because I got 0 subscribers to my Twitter.
Okay. What does your
That might
Twitter
say
have to
more
do with
about
the
you
hard-
than anything else. I'm not sure what to tell you there, buddy. But yeah,
Thanks,
it
Kevin,
turned
for
out
sharing that.
John added the PHPUgly YouTube channel as one of the ways you can enter for this free giveaway with PHP Arch and OSMH.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's working. I mean, there are a couple of kinks. Of course, people are pointing out some things that are some issues with the plugin we're using. It's going to happen, but for the most part, it's working great. We've got a few hundred submissions so far. I'm excited about it.
So, John, I know we haven't talked about your week yet, and you're more than welcome to talk about it. I'm excited to hear about how your week went, but I really want to touch on, and I've already let the people in Discord know this, about your just crazy skills of jumping into code bases and hacking stuff together.
Yeah. Well, so for the most part, I'll talk about my week in general, and then we'll talk about that. I've been in a very down state in general, just feeling like
emotionally.
nothing's emotionally. Just I get into that place where nothing's going my way.
Yeah, you've got two kids. That makes sense.
Yeah, well, between that and then work, where you have your open pull requests, they get reverted, or just feeling like just not good enough. Just having that feeling, and I've been feeling that way.
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome is a big part of it. Just I just want to throw in the towel. I'm just done type of feelings. Just down. Just a general down feeling, and it's normal. People have.
Don't worry. After tomorrow, I might be all over anyway. So,
why? What's tomorrow?
What's tomorrow?
That's next. That's next week.
Let him go. Let
Oh,
him
is
go.
it next week?
Let him go.
That's next. That's next week.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, that's next week. But on what Eric was talking about was on PHP Architect, we are now selling a monthly subscription to the print version of the magazine. Forever, it's been an annual subscription thing if you want to print. Again, this is a new code base to us. We've dabbled in it here and there, but trying to add a product to purchase is no joke. Yeah, I was in multiple code bases, and I don't fully have a local development environment set up. So it's like, I'll just do this live. So I'm on the production server, and now you can purchase a monthly subscription to our print magazine. I mean, it was a request. Somebody wanted that.
That's
so.
very strange because I don't.
You guys
I
are giving
still
me
don't
a
have
hard
this
time
with
about
copies.
blowing away a .log file. Let's not let it slip by that he just did coding on our production servers of one of our money makers right now. So
and I broke it for a little bit. Don't get me wrong. Like it was definitely like, oh, this isn't going to work right now.
I won't blow the secret that it's not a moneymaker.
That's fine. So the system is so old and it's been passed around a few people. So I'm not blaming anybody in particular, but
no, but that's why
the
we
products,
have Eric. Eric
the
is explicitly exists to take blame.
The people who have seen this code base know to add a product, you don't add a product to the database. You create an XML file. I kid you not. It's done through an XML file. I don't know why.
Wait, what
and
is
on top of I can't tell you anymore. It's
no,
crazy.
we got to roll back for a second. Is this Magento?
No, it's not Magento.
What is this?
It's homegrown. It's 20 years old or whatever. Yeah, 15, 20 years old. It's a nightmare code base. To add a single product, it took me hours to do because it was not just adding the XML file, but going into the multitude of files that were looking at this and making decisions on what to do and how to, oh, this is a print. So you need to make sure they get a print subscription. And it took me a long time and I still screwed it up. Luckily, the person that wanted this bought it and then took the time to say, oh, by the way, the email I got said I had a 12-month subscription. I was like, oh, okay, now I gotta go fix that.
I mean, this reminds me of Magento. When I was a junior developer, someone asked me to add a t-shirt to their website. And I was like, yeah, that's like, why would that be a problem? And they were like, here's the website. It's every product is an XML object, and you have to figure out where the XML objects are. And there are so many.
Now I'm curious. Nothing in here says Magento, so I don't know if they just took aspiration. Is that the right word? Inspiration from Magento, but
we
it's
used to
definitely
be
not a Magento.
as
site.
PHP developers. We used to be very, very bad at extensible design. And for some reason we wanted to avoid MySQL, like we wanted to avoid databases. So like products were defined as XML objects. And it's for some reason it still exists as like a terrible way of managing things.
I
Also-
have plans. I now know so much more about the system that I would like to change it. But again, it's not like we add products every week. So that's probably why it's never changed. The few times that products need to be added, it's like, why spend the time refactoring it when I can just make a handful of changes and it's done? With that said, I know where to go make changes now, and I may just do that.
Yeah, it was
We'll
a little
see.
bit of a learning curve.
well,
a little bit.
I mean, our Discord channel brings up an interesting point, which is why not just refactor the whole thing to JSON templates?
Oh, yeah. Trust me, there's a lot we want to do. And it's a matter of time,
it's
money,
hard.
and effort.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot we want to do.
How do you
Of course.
evaluate that difference?
Again, if you're not adding products every other week, then it's pointless to refactor that specific piece of code when there's so much other work to be done. You know, I'd rather focus on trying to reach other companies to buy the magazine, people, work on other clients that are paying us to work on it, to have income into the business so that the overall business doesn't fold. I mean, that there's definitely there's a lot to think about there.
Well,
if I had it my way, yeah, I could spend days and days and days just on PHP Architect stuff.
Don't want to
I would
interrupt
love
you,
that.
John. I know how frustrating that can be, but this is why Ramsey's evil. He's in our Discord saying he wants XML to make a comeback. This is why that man is evil.
But he's not necessarily wrong. I mean, XML has a lot of good things to it. It just sucks. It's a pain in the ass to work with, but there's
nothing
some
good
benefit to it.
I disagree 100%.
You can't say that there's nothing good with it.
I absolutely can. Nope. I dealt with SOAP transport protocols in 2005, and then somebody invented JSON, and I was like, oh yeah, this makes sense. Why would you ever use anything but JSON? And then for some reason, I'm still submitting funding applications via SOAP to a single endpoint. Like the whole idea behind SOAP was that you could modify it and then can move it to the next step. Like you could take a SOAP packet, modify it a little bit for your own purposes, and then move it to the next SOAP endpoint, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But no one actually does that.
I was gonna say I've never seen that in practice.
No one does it.
SOAP was just RPC over XML over RPC, wasn't it?
Right. Except that text over RPC already existed and worked fine.
XML just gave you if you had the I didn't even forget what they were, the WSDL files that you could validate the structure of a document. That's one nice thing where JSON you don't necessarily have that, right?
We added validation on top of validation. I'm sure it'll work out.
I'm not saying it's great, but there are it's not 100% evil. So chill.
It's not 100% evil. It's just useless. It's like COBOL. Like, I'm glad you use this ancient technology. Why are we using it?
Just because.
All right, so for the record, Jess, their directions to install may be perfectly reasonable. I forgot that I had moved my custom plugin folder to a different location. So my copy and paste was not what I should have been doing. So it is installed, but not necessarily working yet, but we'll see.
Kaylin, nobody misses SOAP.
That was a great TV show. I love that TV show. Look, I'm invisible.
Was good.
You're dating yourself so bad. The people listening to us are like probably average 25, 30.
Dating me? Oh man.
Like, what does he mean?
I had an issue.
Billy Crystal was on that show. That's the first place I think I saw Billy Crystal there before I saw him on Saturday Night Live.
I had an issue this week.
Okay. Do share.
I was testing private methods of a trait.
You know, it's a private method.
Private methods of a trait. So this trait this trait provided filtering for a model in Laravel. And all of the methods for filtering were private. And I decided I needed to test this trait.
But you're not supposed to unit test private methods per se.
You're supposed to unit test everything.
No, you're supposed to unit test your public API.
No. Your public API is a feature test.
No, you don't unit test your private methods on your classes.
I unit test everything.
Not your private class. How do you test your private classes?
Well,
through the other public methods on.
Well, it turns out PHPUnit allows you to mock a trait as a class.
Yeah, I've done that, but for public methods, not for private methods.
Well, you're also...
Well, no, when you're mocking it, you're extending it.
You're also allowed to change the accessibility of a method. So you say, I want this private method to be publicly available. And then you test the trait. You test the method of the trait. It's in Laravel, this actually happens quite a bit, where you want to have query filters that are private, but you want to make sure the query filter functions correctly. And so I implemented this little bit of code that said make it fake an object out of this trait and then make it public and then test it. And then one day later, Spady introduced the Spady introduced the invading private properties and methods in PHP article.
Which tells you how to do this, I'm assuming.
So this introduced a new method that was just called invade, where it was a private property, but you were allowed to test it. You were allowed to run it as a public property.
Oh, I just want to adjust a couple people in Discord. Kalen is asking, testing a public API. I didn't mean a public API endpoint. I meant the public methods of a class. So when you're testing, you normally test your public methods, and just by testing all of those are the only things that can use the private method. So in general, that tests all of your private methods at the same time.
And I get
the whole point is you're supposed to be able to
your code coverage is not going to.
Let me finish. The whole point is you're supposed to be able to then you're supposed to be able to refactor your class as long as you're satisfying the public entry points to that class and you're getting the proper output. You're supposed to be able to refactor your class at will, which includes your private methods. As long as you're testing the output of your public methods, nothing theoretically should break. Granted, there could be logic that you're not testing within those private methods, but that's a whole nother issue that you need to be worrying about if you're not knowingly going through those conditionals in private methods.
I mean, isn't that the difference between unit and functional testing? Or unit and feature testing?
Functional testing is testing your classes in cohesion.
But if I
you're testing a specific unit within a class, that class is going to call private methods within itself. You're not doing a functional test on the method. You're testing a unit within that method, the public unit, the publicly accessible unit within that method that uses other private methods within it.
And I understand. I understand the idea, but I have a trait.
All of your tests go through multiple functions. So if you're saying I'm specifically testing a singular function, then you're never doing a unit test, or very rarely doing a very specific unit test. If you're within a class, the chances of it calling a private method are high. And if you're then going to call it a functional test, well, then you're crazy. The whole point is you're testing your input and output of that class. Now you should know how your class works. So if your private methods has conditionals that you may or not be testing, that's an issue.
So what if my private methods are basic mathematics, making sure that my SQL is still capable of executing 1 + 1 = 2?
Then you need to know your edge cases and do it. From the
you need to know your edge
publicly
cases?
accessible functions.
That's
the whole fucking point of testing is knowing your edge cases.
No,
what are you talking about?
You need to know your edge cases is the biggest cop out in the fucking world. You can't know your edge cases. They're edge cases.
No, that's the whole point of testing. You know your edge case. You need to think about your edge cases.
Right. So I have a private method that adds 1 + 1. How do I know my edge cases are going to catch that if 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2?
Because you have input and output. You expect specific output. You can't access private methods from outside your class.
I do.
So you know the inputs that go into that class, and you test the outputs.
I do expect specific outputs, but those are my feature tests. My unit tests have to make sure that 1 + 1 still equals 2.
No, that's not the case. Your unit tests are testing a unit within a class. You're not testing the private methods. You're testing the public methods of your class.
So you're saying my class structure is wrong?
No, I'm not saying that because I don't know your class structure. I'm saying that your unit test should be testing a unit within your class, and it's only testing your public methods. Your private methods get tested through extension. I mean, they're going to be called. Otherwise, they're pointless. Or otherwise, they're pointless to have.
But it's a trait. It's not a class on its own. It's a trait.
Okay, if they're private, then create a simple class that uses that trait and then test it. I don't know what to tell you.
So,
how does any other
that's
class uses that trait?
that is what PHP unit is doing when you mock a trait and test a private method as if it were public. Is that not the same thing?
Say it again. I wasn't listening to you.
So PHP unit in my example, PHP unit allows me to mock an object with the trait. So it's mock as trait.
Yeah, I've done that.
Mock trait as object.
Mm-hmm.
And then testing that the 1+1 values.
I'm not so opposed to that on a trait.
You seem very opposed.
Wait, you were talking about private methods in general.
I wasn't talking about your privates.
You should be talking about my privates. That's the only thing we should be talking about right now.
Let's all talk about. Let's take a moment and talk about John's privates. I have a question for John because I want to move on, and this seems like a good transition period for me. I am disappointed that John, you gave my Kinesis keyboard another crack, and how long did you last on it this time?
About 12 hours.
Oh, it was just 12 hours. Man, I feel like it was longer than that. I'm sorry. But
might have been a tiny bit longer, but not much.
What? So if you're not watching, obviously, if you're listening to audio stream, Kinesis Keyboard is an ergonomically correct concave keyboard with a lot of separation between the keys. I like it because I have big hands and it requires less travel of my fingers. But if you're a listener to the show, you know it took me probably 2 weeks to get productive on it again. And still today, I was explaining at the beginning of the show how the cat likes to lay on me and I typically need to hold him with one hand. Don't even think about trying to type with one hand on this keyboard. It's horrible. It's an absolutely horrible thing to do. But
I tried. I just
because you're a pretty good typist, just in general.
Right. And I think, but I'm a good typist for me in the sense that I'm off a full key on my home row. On my right hand, the way I type,
you can't do that.
I'm off a full key.
Yeah, that was one of the things I had to do. I had to learn to type correctly. Like I was the same way. I was off a key, just like you. And I was a heavy Vim user, which makes it even weirder that worked for me. But I definitely had to Vim user. I definitely had to use. I had to learn more proper keyboard etiquette with this keyboard for sure because it's definitely optimized for that.
But there's still the case that keys are just like the equals keys, the dash key, the greater than, the special keys that you use for just OOP programming. Like they're just out of place. And really what it came down to was not only my speed of typing here and now, because I knew if I kept at it, it probably would have gotten better. But having a new laptop that I'm going to be using extensively over the next few months.
Wait a minute. Have we discussed a new laptop? I don't think anybody's even heard about a new laptop. What are you talking about, a new laptop?
Talked about it at length last week.
Yeah, a pretty new Lemur Pro laptop. The fact that it has a standard keyboard, like trying to convince my hands to use the Kinesis just seemed pointless when I'm going to be going back and forth. And I got done. I was done with it.
I still can't figure out.
I think you need to give it a little bit more time.
I still can't figure out parentheses versus brackets versus squigglies.
What do you mean?
I have 3 keys on my keyboard that I hit the wrong key every single time.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I'm trying to close an array and it's like a squiggly bracket, and then I don't know how to fix
so the
that.
squiggly bracket and the array bracket on the Kinesis keyboard, which in my case are right down here. These are two of the keys I have the hardest time hitting and remembering to hit. That to drop my fingers down, not one row
Now,
but 2 rows.
Are
to
you
hit
still
them.
are you still using Copilot?
I'm actually using Copilot more and more.
So Copilot loves to add like extra closing.
It's the closing brackets. Yeah, it's gotten better at that, but you still run into it time and time. That's just
Dude,
being a coder, though. You just got to remember to look for that.
I was writing tests for a new filtering algorithm, and Copilot wrote 99%.
Where's my?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, it's Copilot again. I get annoyed that I
Dude,
open a damn
it.
array. I use it all the time, but I hate the fact that I open an array and I go to do something and it forces something into my array, and I'm like, no,
So
I
hit
don't
escape,
want that.
Hit escape twice.
That's stupid. I'm
So
done.
Copilot
We're back
has
to the stupid comment.
oh,
John,
Copilot-
you're right. I would say those keys are probably the least ergonomical keys, but everything else. I mean, again, if you look at the concave in my hands, like
really
all the
looks-
keys
it looks like a
are
guitar.
I barely have to travel for. Like everything
No,
is
I
right here.
I agree. When
It
I'm
is so
typing,
nice.
when
and it's
I'm
the whole
typing well,
concaveness
it's
that makes
great.
the difference.
Yeah, when I'm typing well, it's great. When I'm not, it's
You would-
frustrating as
You
hell.
would kill it once you got used to this thing. You would absolutely kill it.
I don't know.
I don't know, man. Having 2 dogs and 2 kids, that shit. Sometimes you just want to hit F5 and you end up punching a hole through your wall.
What the
Eric, I think you forget how terrible working at home with children is.
That might be true. I don't know.
I have a nice little setup here where my kids don't mess with me.
Oh yeah,
I've
no. And the minute that we stop streaming, you're like, I gotta go buy.
That's completely different. That has nothing to do with my work day.
My
My
dog's
workday is-
shitting on the floor. I gotta get him off.
No.
That was
No.
2
We
weeks
talked
ago.
about Soap earlier. We talked about the TV show Soap, the one that's really relevant. Something I forgot about that. I mentioned Billy Crystal, and I remember seeing Billy Crystal.
Sure.
So Soap, for those who don't know, the TV show was like in the 80s. I forgot Billy Crystal was one of the first. He himself is not, but his character was one of the first openly gay characters on television.
That's true.
His character on Soap was gay, openly gay, and it was like no. It was. I remember that as a kid. Now that I'm thinking back, I'm like, God, I remember Billy Crystal was on there. Oh shoot, he played a gay character. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, also,
Ramsey, was it really the 70s? Are you sure about that? Am
no,
I
that was
that
the
old?
80s. But it was a spin-off of Laverne and Shirley.
Soapless?
Yes, it was, because Benson was the maid.
What? That
So-
can't be right.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Are you thinking
Laverne
of soap or-
Laverne and Shirley had Benson. Benson had a Benson show, and when the Benson show went under, it turned into Soap, where Benson was the housekeeper.
I'm calling. I don't know. I want to call bullshit on you, Tom. I don't think it was Laverne and Shirley.
Call it all you want.
You know, I feel like you might be right with the Benson angle. Like maybe that is correct, but I don't. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not just right. I'm always right. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I actually linked to.
Not
the,
sure if
to
you've
the
heard Harry
Wikipedia.
Mack, but
Laverne. So the word Laverne does not show up on the Soap Wikipedia page at all.
Well, I'm guessing you spelled it wrong. They were all spin-offs of
Happy Days.
Happy Days.
Benson. So let me look
So,
at Benson, guys.
Happy
So
Days.
the wealthy
Happy
wealthy
Days.
Tate family employs butler cook named Benson. Benson clearly despises Chester. Here you go. Jessica's cousin, Governor Gene, on the spin-off series Benson, wherein his last name. Wait, let me back up a little bit. Benson became such a popular character. So the TV show Benson was the TV show Benson was a spin-off of Soap, not the other way around.
But they were all spin-offs of Laverne and Shirley. Hey,
what are you talking about? You're out of your mind right now. You're out of your mind. Saturday Night Live was a spin-off of Laverne and Shirley. This podcast is a spin-off from Laverne and Shirley.
I'm so happy Ramsey's here. He's setting you all straight.
I mean,
I'm squeaky.
technically,
Laverne and Shirley.
I loved Mork and Mindy as a kid.
That you're right. Was Mork and Mindy a spin-off of Happy Days too?
it was.
Don't remember that.
It was
That's awesome. Rob Williams. Man.
Oh, hey, guys,
Rob Williams.
look
is
over
the
there.
guy.
I gotta go.
This is the second time he's walked away from us.
Yeah. Robin Williams would have been a huge fan of our show.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure he would have been. Holy smokes. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I think Soap has to be like the oldest TV show I remember.
How did we get on
watching.
soaps?
Well, Soaps is different than Soap. Soaps is
I remember
pulled into
soap.
that.
I do remember soap.
Yeah, my best friend, his mom used to watch Soaps, and I thought, oh, I love that show. I'll watch them too. And it was something completely different. And
I love Days of Our Lives. Don't get me wrong.
I never watched any of them.
What?
But I do know the people who watched them religiously. Like hers was Days of Our Lives and General Hospital. Was that one? General Hospital?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those were the two that she watched.
It goes back to XML.
What's that?
Oh my goodness. It all goes back to XML.
It's all
Yeah.
about XML. MASH. Oh, I loved MASH. Yeah, that was a good show too. Buttery. Oh, all right. Well, I feel like we're at a good point to wrap things up. But
Yeah, I
Tom's
want to
not
thank our
here to do so.
patrons. I start my flight lessons next week, a week from tomorrow. I'm talking about getting a GoPro and doing the Patreon thing.
Put your Patreon screen up. So to answer your question from earlier, it's totally your call. So John messaged me if the GoPro 360 was worth getting, or like I said, Diego Dev has a bunch of GoPros already. So I did manage to dig up the GoPro one of the GoPros we have. This is the newer one, I believe. This is newer to what we have. This is like the Black 7. I'm sure there are newer ones now. I think this is the newest one Diego Dev has. But I love the 360s, man. And if you're going to be doing the paragliding thing, I can't see how you cannot use a 360. I mean, that just seems like the way to go. Like, you just mount that thing and you go. I would advise you to get the 360.
All right. There may be a 360 in Diego Dev's future, PHPUgly's future.
Did you
going
put
on
the
the Patreon
Patreon
channel.
page yet, Tom?
No, not yet. He forgot.
There we go.
I didn't
Thank
forget.
you to our Patreon supporters. Oh, and Jackson is not a new Patreon. I just forgot. I had to run out right before the show. I barely made it back in time, and I forgot to change the graphics. So for one more week, Jackson W is recognized as a new Patreon supporter. Thank you, Jackson.
Buttery's probably going to be mounted right on top of my head.
Oh, really? Is that where they put it? Because you're going to do the tandem thing, right? Isn't there going to be a guy behind you? A person behind you?
Well,
I assumed it was a guy.
for the first few flights, there will be somebody behind me, but eventually, I want to fly on my own. That's the whole point
A
of
fella.
doing flight lessons.
Then definitely get the 360. If you're going to do something like that, if you're going to have it like up here,
Yeah.
you're gonna be, you definitely want the 360, 100%.
It's just that's going to mean a lot of editing to get it on.
Oh,
there, right?
no. World Star does the editing. We just
The thing about the 360 is you don't have to worry about missing a shot. You just like boom and go. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're good.
What is World Star? What are you talking about?
you know.
No, I don't know. You can't say
you
you know, and I don't know what you're talking about.
When you yell World Star before you do something dumb and then die.
Have no clue.
Actually, typically World Star is videos of people fighting.
What are you talking about?
Is a weird thing that I enjoy watching street fights. I don't know why.
Am I a crazy person for like not wanting?
Was there more to that?
Yes.
I'm like a Fight Club fan, by the way.
Does me not ever wanting to do this type of thing make me weird?
What type of thing are you talking about?
Jumping off a cliff with a parachute?
No, I don't think that makes you weird at all. This is just a different
Okay.
rush.
Next question. Going hiking by any measure, like what someone would call hiking.
I mean, when you say going hiking by any measure, do you mean like just walking in general?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you should probably get out and walk every now and then. That's not a bad thing.
Okay.
Whether you call it hiking or not.
So
that's borderline. If you have the ability to walk, you should definitely walk every now and then. Doesn't have to be long distances, but just in general, just stand up.
What if I wake up and forget that I can walk?
I'm not sure where. I really was hoping to wrap the show up. This seems to be going down a really weird rabbit hole here. I'm not sure what you mean you forget to walk. Listen, I have an appointment with a doctor next Monday to get another injection in my knee just so I can continue to walk. Walking to me has become such a painful experience, and I'm not even joking. It's such a painful thing for me right now, and my knee is like the size of a basketball. So walk. If you have the ability to walk and enjoy it and embrace it and get out. And if you don't, then you do whatever you need to do to get that energy and that don't just veg out. I mean, vegging out is cool for a little bit, but don't make that like your lifestyle.
I mean,
don't
but that's
vegging out
good
be
at
your lifestyle. I'll tell you, man.
Have you played Sifu? Have you played Sifu?
I play nothing. I play no games, and it's not a slam against games. I know you guys are big in games. I don't know how you guys find the time. I have no time to play games.
I find a few minutes here and there, and that's about it. I don't understand the fully immersive. Like you spend hours and hours like wandering around a world. I can't do that. I can get in for 10, 20, 30 minutes to play.
Rocket League, if I were to play a game, Rocket League seems like the game. Those little like quick matches, and it's action packed, and you're moving, and boom, and then you're done. I could totally see that.
Suck at Rocket League.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't play games.
Everybody sucks when they first start. What are you talking about?
No, everybody sucks no matter where they're at.
Well,
that's the great thing about Rocket League is that you suck all the time. There's no good players. There's the best players. Anyways, not my point. Thank you for listening.
Oh, are we done? What? There was no point. There's no point. Okay, great. We're wrapping up? Are we wrapping up?
Yes.
I apologize.
Episode. Go ahead. Finish it. Finish it. 270.
I have no idea.
274. Thank you for listening to episode 274. I'm
Eric. He's Eric. I know that one. He's Eric Van
Thank
Johnson.
you for listening to episode 274.
No,
If you're still
he's
with
Eric
us,
Van Johnson.
You're an oppressor. You're
The other guy is John Congdon. I'm Tom Rideout. Keep it ugly.
Tom is so drunk as usual.
We're wrapping this up. That's good. We're just gonna leave it right there. Keep it ugly.
Keep it
Tom,
ugly.
Ugly.
You know, play some
Ramsey,
music.
I don't know
Tom?
why you stick around with us.
Ramsey, this is why I take my
One,
frustration out on you so much.
Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a
You playing music,
freestyle you
Tom?
can cherish. I'ma send a shout out
but
to
he's trying
the
to share
host
his
named
screen. It's gonna
Eric.
start
Yo,
slipping
he's
again.
never
don't
on some
share
average
your-
shit. You
don't-
know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all
Don't
with
share.
the clever song. Yo, shout the host name Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting. I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with
trying to
anguish.
drink-
We talking
drink
about the
less.
PHP, the programming language. About to
Trying.
break it down, no exaggeration.
Yeah.
What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad.
Oh, I thought of a image and I can't remember what it was now. Share your screen. Stop the feedback, Tom.
Yeah.
See, John, you were on.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. I appreciate it.
I apologize to literally everybody.
You were so slurring your words, so I'm so bad.
You are so gone right now, Tom. It's where is the drunk Tom emoji? That's pretty much all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody had a good title. Let me go back. It was
Not a
I
huge.
apologize.
I apologize.
Oh, I forgot to say, hey, if you're still with us in Discord, Zsh Package is very slick. So John was right. It does autocomplete all your artisan commands on the tab. It's very slick. I got it working. It's butter. I appreciate. I meant to bring that up again during the show, but okay, let's see what we got for titles here. Citizen 86, you were killing it with titles here.
That's Kalen.
Make sure
I got
Kalen.
I got a few plugins saying they're not found. FZF tab, CSH auto suggestions.
you might need to manually install those. It's been so long for me. I don't know what I have manually installed. and what I don't.
I'll look at them tomorrow or
just
next week.
or just remove them. I mean, like I said, you kind of want to ease into it anyways. So like Warp Drive and Z and History are probably the three of the better ones in the Vim mode. If you're interested in Vim mode, you okay there, Tom?
Yeah. I don't like drinking.
Don't drink. That's a pretty easy thing to solve.
Yeah, you would think so.
I think you like it to a point. You just don't know where that point is as you're doing it.
Testing
I don't like
John's
7 a.m. meetings.
That's a completely different thing.
It's not very different. My wife, every time I tell my wife I like had to wake up for an early meeting, she's like, I got up at 4:30. Like, yeah, different fucking story. You fell asleep at 9.
Hey,
Hey,
give me
Ben,
me
no, hang on, Ben Ramsey, if you're still around, you said this is a really weird argument when we were talking about testing private methods in a trait. I was just curious what your thoughts were on that.
I'm not. You're all fucking wrong.
Yeah, he says it right there. Look at your coverage report. Make sure your public methods are calling your private methods.
Don't have a coverage report.
well,
Why
you should
not?
probably do that. Non-alcoholic beer are super popular. Butter, really? Why would not? I would not drink beer if it was non-alcoholic. Like it doesn't.
There's a
Tastes pretty
lot.
good.
There's a ton now in San Diego.
Yes, but
When you go to any of the
Really?
any of the half marathons or
yes.
marathons, there's a
Yes.
tent of, hey, there's this non-alcoholic beer.
So you like the taste of beer? I mean, like
I mean, I don't personally drink it, but
you've turned me on to like the coffee beers and the chocolate beers. I used to say I was never going to drink those, but those like really heavy, like, do they make those a non-alcoholic? Because maybe I would drink
no.
those.
Well, I don't think so. I've not tried
Yes.
any. I've
Yes.
seen them.
It's
I don't
really
drink
easy to
beer.
get rid of alcohol. You just have to burn it. But that's not. I have. My wife is a teacher, and I don't know if you follow how shit it is to be a teacher and to
John,
have 3
Hold-
kids.
Hold on
It's
one second.
fucking
Tom.
hard.
Hold on one second, Tom. John, take your headphones off and your glasses off when you do it, and give me a folded arms. I think the testing John's patience. Although John was our thumbnail last week, I think he's gonna be a thumbnail this week too. I think that works. Thank you, John.
Of course.
All right, sorry, Tom. Go ahead. Oh, Tom's gone again. Holy crap! Tom really should see a doctor. I think at this point he needs to see a doctor.
I like
Oh,
Kaylin.
man.
Kaylin says they don't make non-alcoholic beer by burning it. I was questioning that myself, but what do I know?
I'm with you, Eric. They taste okay.
Ramsey, I've already snipped that. It's gonna be tweeted. You always agree with me. It's done.
You know, I'm a Scotch guy. You guys know that. Matter of fact, I just finished like my umpteenth bottle of Lagavulin on the show tonight, so I'm down to my last little swig. The good news is the Costco by my new house carries it, because the Costco by my old house stopped carrying it, so I'm good there. But when I go out and I go to restaurants and stuff, I try to drink other whiskeys. I've really been trying to do bourbons because bourbons and scotches are they're all whiskeys, right? But I'm liking bourbons more, and bourbons are U.S. based, which is another thing. I'm not gonna lie, but I have gotten hooked on old fashions. I like crave old fashions now. Like that is my go-to drink when I go out, and I feel weird.
No, it's not. Why is that weird? There are competitions around old fashions. I think Ramsey's taking part in those, haven't you, Ramsey?
Ramsey, are you an old-fashioned guy? I'm loving. I've got to learn.
I don't know
how to make
why I think that, but
like I may bring bourbon into my house just to have old fashions, because I've been a hardcore Scotch guy for years, and I never thought I would not be a Scotch guy. There's an orange Jameson that tries to taste like an old fashioned. Bourbon is my favorite whiskey. Okay, so I'm trying to get myself familiar with the different bourbons. Lagavulin is my Scotch, and this is where my palate is at. This Lagavulin 16. I've been drinking this for 10 years now, 12, 15 years now. So this is my palate. But I
How
like
old are you?
bourbons because bourbons are like a little sweeter.
Eric, how old are you?
I am 53. 53.
No, you're not.
Yeah, 50. Maybe I'm 52. No, I'm 52. I'm 52 right now. I'll be 53 this year.
John, how old are you?
45.
I'm the youngest one here.
We've known that for 10 years now. It hasn't changed.
What, did you think you caught up with somebody, Tom? Did you?
I finally took him over. I finally passed him.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I can't tell how
Really?
old people are.
But we've joked with you about how you're the baby of the group many times in the past.
Oh, but I thought that was you.
No.
Yeah, the guy who had a heart attack in our group is the youngest one. Yeah.
Why do I? Okay, so why do I have 19-year-old kids? That doesn't make sense.
Because I waited?
First thing, you inherited those kids. You didn't do the hard work yourself.
Hey, she's only 43.
No, I'm saying like the production of the kids was not your involvement.
Yeah, no, I'm bad at that part.
Yeah.
No, we just waited. We kept putting it off until we were older. And I'm happy we did because I would have been a shit dad if I were younger.
No, but
You're
you're
a
supposed
shit
to be
dad
a
now.
shit. You're supposed to be a shit dad.
We waited too. I mean, we waited to we were just south of 30 when we had our kids.
Ugh.
So.
My parents' biological father, or my kid. Let me start over. let me start completely over.
Apparently, my wife is my aunt. I don't know how that happened.
My kid's biological father has no like concept of social
Ramsey.
propriety.
I really want to go drinking with you, Ramsey. I'm going to come to Tennessee, and you and I are going to go drinking.
All you have to do is have a conference. Just host a conference.
I like Rye's. I think Rye is my summer bourbon.
So what's a rye?
I can guarantee.
I don't know what I'm.
I can guarantee that I'm going to be talking to you, Eric, and Ramsey's going to be like, "Hey, I'm Ramsey," and be like, "I gotta go. Bye." I'm just going to run away again.
You're just going to go pee. Seriously, you need to see the doctor. You need to see a doctor, man. You've like gotten up and peed like 3 or 4 times. Like,
I gotta see a doctor. Bye.
I don't know if I've ever met Ramsey in real life. I feel like I have.
Yeah,
you have. You had to have.
Have I? I feel like I have. Yeah.
I feel like I no longer want to know the people that I met in real life because God knows what comes out after like 10 years and you're like, "Oh, it turns out that person's terrible." And you're like, "Oh, I have a great picture with them at Laracon though." Like I don't want that at all.
Don't know where that was going, but okay.
That just kind of fizzled out. Okay.
No. I don't.
I prefer. I don't. See, I'm not the big picture taker. I don't go saying, "Hey, let's take a picture together." I go and hang out with people and have a beer. I remember going to a really cool pub with Ramsey and having a beer with a group of us upstairs. I can't remember the exact place, but it was awesome just sitting there and just talking.
See, I don't have a lot of friends, so like whenever somebody wants to hang out with me, I like to take a picture of it because I don't, it doesn't happen very often. And so I like to have evidence that I took pictures. One of the coolest pictures I have was from I think the first Laracon I went to. Former Diego Dev employee who wasn't an employee at the time. I'm not even sure we had Diego Dev back then. Maybe we did, but he invited me to this dinner. and it turned out like it was almost like the who's who of the Laravel.
Yeah,
ecosystem
that was
now.
me. That was me and you at the fucking like ultra nice.
No, it wasn't you and I, Tom. I'm sorry, buddy. But it is where I meant Michael Dorinda. Or no, Michael Dorinda wasn't there. I meant Jacob Bennett there. A bunch of Laravel people. And
Considering
I remember thinking
we started Diego Dev before you learned about, or right around the time you learned about Laravel. So Diego Dev was definitely a thing.
okay, so this would have been right around the beginning of that all. It was in Louisville. It was the year before you came to Louisville, Thomas. And it was just like I love going back to that picture. That's one of my favorite pictures to go back to because like everybody in that picture has done something what I considered like significant within the Laravel ecosystem, with the exception of myself.
Fuck.
I'll find that
know,
picture. I'll post it to
that
Discord
hurts.
if I can find it.
Caitlin, Diego Dev turns 10 years this year.
I remember hanging out with
October.
Get out of here.
Well, I'll have to look it up. October something this year.
What's her name? She's InfoSec. Starts with an S.
Snipey Head.
I remember hanging out with Snipey Head.
Here's the picture. I found the picture right here. Yeah, I'm going to post this Discord. I'm the one taking the picture, so of course this is one of the few pictures I'm actually not in because I'm taking the damn picture. But the people in this picture, there are a lot of significant people in this picture.
You can see his thumb though.
Yeah, I'll post it to Discord for anybody interested.
Japan.
Wow, are we really 10 years old this year?
Yeah. Buttery. What if I come to Japan and I'm just like super depressed? And I'm like,
as opposed to you being in the US super depressed? That was from July 26, 2016. So
so this is 1 year before I went to Louisville.
No, this is after you went to Louisville because I got a picture of you in Louisville in 2015.
Yeah.
You lying bastard. You don't know anything you're fucking talking about anymore.
Fucking
here is Tom at his first
No, don't.
Tom at his first Laracon.
No.
Look how young this guy looked. He looked hopeful.
Don't do that to me.
Jesus
Christ.
Boy. Holy smokes.
Oh boy, I wish I knew how fat I was getting back then.
Oh, here's the picture you're talking about, Tom. I got that picture too. Here you go. We're doing pictures. Guru? Oh, maybe I don't have the right picture.
No,
I thought that's what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, no, that was us. That was the
that little bar that. Matter of fact, I think we did a whiskey tasting there.
Yeah, no, we did like a flight. Oh my God! Look at your head. You
That's
look
when
like
I was clean shaven back then.
You look like before brown M&Ms got banned.
What? I don't know what that means. Ramsey, I know you were at 2016, and I intentionally
too sexy to be that round. Hold on.
I intentionally avoided you. I didn't like you back then, Ramsey. I like you less now, but I still want to drink with you.
Oh man.
Hey, John, I meant to give you a hard time on the show, but when am I going to get that code review from you?
Code review.
You're fucking killing me, dude. Argus, a couple of weeks ago, I told you I wanted to push some code, and you're like, "Oh, let me review it first."
October 30th, 2012 is when we filed with the Secretary of State.
Really, 2012? Holy smokes!
Dude, I remember.
I told you we're going on 10 years. Oh. Let me just go hit the approve button right now. Come on, that's funny.
You're an ass. This is the problem with code reviews.
Yeah.
Dude, some good pictures here, man. I miss Louisville. I hope Taylor was talking about trying to make Laracon small again, going back to something like
216 files
would.
changed. Are you kidding
No,
me? You
there's
want me
not.
to?
Is there really?
Yeah, there's no way I'm reviewing 216 files. I'm just gonna say okay.
Oh yeah. Because there's a bunch of PRs. You don't have to review it at all. You're the one that said you wanted to review it, man.
I did 147,000 lines added, 12,000 lines removed. I'm not reviewing that.
Yeah, I know. It's like 6 months worth of PRs I went through. I was explaining this to you. Holy crap.
Then just push it live. I'm not. If you've reviewed it, I'm done.
Okay, so I got to tell you this story. When Tom came to the first Louisville, or the first Laracon in Louisville, I wish this was on the podcast.
Why didn't
One of
the
the
test
funniest, none of the test pass. One of the funniest
pass? That's
things
not good.
to ever happen. First thing, we're in Louisville. Tom is a little bit of a what's it called, Tom?
Introvert.
No, it's you don't like being around people.
Agoraphobia.
Agoraphobia.
No.
Tom.
No.
Okay. It's not about being around people. Whatever. It's not about that. Tom's a little bit of a agoraphobe. Anyways, so the fact that we had him at a conference and had him out in public was an accomplishment. But he was nervous. He was constantly nervous.
Wasn't nervous. That's not the word.
We end up in. Okay. All right, Tom. Let me tell the story. We end up at this Uber. First thing, the Uber driver had to have been one of the most racist motherfuckers I've ever been in an Uber with, and we had people of various.
We had every race in the fucking Uber,
and this guy is talking, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy needs to shut up, or we're gonna do something. So we end up at this bar that was literally called the Dive Bar, and it held up to its name. It was really a dive bar. It wasn't a joke. And Tom's like, you know what? I'm getting a little nervous. I'm uncomfortable.
That is not what happened.
I said, Tom, I swear to fucking God, I'm gonna mute you. Stop. And I tell Tom, don't worry about it. There's no bat signal yet. You don't have to worry about anything. Start to worry when you see the bat signal. I kid you not. We walk into this bar, and there's a wall that is the bat signal. And I turn to Tom. I'm like, okay, now you can be nervous.
I know. Okay, so we were with Jose. It was me and Eric. Oh, John disappeared. It was me and Eric and Jose, who is my boss. But also my friend, and we were in town, and we got an Uber, and Jose asked the Uber, hey, where's the fun part of town? And he's like, hey, I know the fun part of town. And so he dropped us off at the beginning of like a strip of bars and restaurants. And I was like, hey, that bar looks great. Let's go to that bar. And then we all ordered drinks and then looked around. And then Eric said, hey, they're playing a lot of Madonna on the TVs in this bar. And I was like, yeah, Madonna's a pretty normal thing to play in a bar. And I looked around, and Eric was like, yeah, I mean, it's normal if there's a lot of girls dancing. But there's not a lot of girls dancing. There's a lot of guys. Well, there's like 3 guys. The bar has like 3 guys in it, and then our tourist drop-off. I was like, hey, you know what? Don't judge the bone room by its name.
So what Tom is leaving out, that was the start of that night. So here we are at the Batman bar, the dive bar that we went to. So what Tom's talking about, was the first bar we went to, which Tom was very insistent. He's like, that bar is calling to me. I feel a connection to that bar. Let's go to that bar. Keep in mind, there are these other bars that like are right across the street that are.
It was a
literally
strip.
packed-
It was a strip
with
of
people.
bars.
Like
It was a strip
all
of
them are packed,
bars.
and there's this one bar that like is just sitting off in the corner, and Tom is insistent to go to this bar. So we go in there,
Yeah.
and like he says, I'm making some observations, and eventually I turn to him. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is a gay bar.
Well, and
Tom's
I
like,
said,
"What?"
no,
He's
I
like,
said,
"Nah, I'm
if
pretty sure it's not."
It's rude to come to a bar
like-
and order
I'm
just
like,
one
I'm
drink and leave. You
I'm
don't
pretty
just
sure.
have.
And here, keep in mind, we're a bunch of dudes, right? So like 5-6 dudes.
Well,
walking those
oh,
bars.
that
It's-
okay.
it's
So
our, it's our group.
three of us
And
are dudes.
we're
Three of us
sitting
are
there,
dudes.
Tom,
Three of us dudes. One of
swear
us.
to God,
One of us works
gotta let me
for a
finish talking.
porn company.
We're sitting
and
there
he
talking.
was pretty sure we were at the wrong place.
So needless to say, I was right. We order our alcohol, we drink our alcohol, and we kindly depart from the bar. That's what that bar was. I was talking about the bar we ended up at the end of the night.
So
It was
I
a very
didn't end
long
up
night
there.
that night.
You forget.
I
that-
literally posted a picture of you at that bar, Tom. What are you talking about?
Wait, did you?
Stop the stream. We're done talking. Thank you for hanging out with us, Discord.
Oh man, it looked a lot better back then. That's such an embarrassing picture. Because if you see Jose now, he looks like a fucking welterweight lifter.
He is jacked. Are you still streaming, by the way?
Yeah.
I asked you to stop streaming.
Oh, did you? Hey, everybody! Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful night.
Thanks for hanging with us.